Hello, and welcome back to Morning Bible. Today we will be going through Matthew chapter 5 in the New English translation. So let's get started. Matthew chapter 5. When he saw the crowds, he went up the mountain. After he sat down, his disciples came to him. Then he began to teach them by saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to them. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you and say all kinds of evil things about you, falsely on account of me. Rejoice and be glad, because your reward is great in heaven, for they persecuted the prophets before you in the same way. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt loses its flavor, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled on by people. You are the light of the world. A city located on a hill cannot be hidden. People do not light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before people, so that they can see your good deeds and give honor to your Father in heaven. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish these things, but to fulfill them. I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or stroke of a letter will pass from the law until everything takes place. So anyone who breaks one of the least of these commands and teaches others to do so will be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever obeys them and teaches others to do so will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I tell you, unless your righteousness goes beyond that of the experts in the law and the Pharisees, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. You have heard that it was said to an older generation, 'Do not murder,' and 'Whoever murders will be subjected to judgment.' But I say to you that anyone who is angry with a brother will be subjected to judgment. And whoever insults a brother will be brought before the council, and whoever says 'fool' will be sent to fiery hell. So then, if you bring your gift to the altar, and there remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to your brother, and then come and present your gift. Reach agreement quickly with your accuser while on the way to court, or he may hand you over to the judge, and the judge hand you over to the warden, and you will be thrown into prison. I tell you the truth, you will never get out of there until you have paid the last penny. You have heard that it was said, 'Do not commit adultery.' But I say to you that whoever looks at a woman to desire her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better to lose one of your members than to have your whole body thrown into hell. If your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better to lose one of your members than to have your whole body go into hell. It was said, 'Whoever divorces his wife must give her a legal document.' But I say to you that everyone who divorces his wife, except for immorality, makes her commit adultery, and whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. Again, you have heard that it was said to an older generation, 'Do not break an oath, but fulfill your vows to the Lord.' But I say to you, do not take oaths at all, not by heaven, because it is the throne of God, not by earth, because it is his footstool, and not by Jerusalem, because it is the city of the great king. Do not take an oath by your head, because you are not able to make one hair white or black. Let your words be yes, yes, or no, no. More than this is from the evil one. You have heard that it was said, 'An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth.' But I say to you, do not resist the evildoer. But whoever strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other to him as well. And if someone wants to sue you and to take your tunic, give him your coat also. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2. Give to the one who asks you, and do not reject the one who wants to borrow from you. You have heard that it was said, 'Love your neighbor and hate your enemy.' But I say to you, love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be like your Father in heaven. since he causes the sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. For if you love those who love you, what reward do you have? Even the tax collectors do the same, don't they? And if you only greet your brothers, what more do you do? Even the Gentiles do the same, don't they? So then, be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. That was Matthew chapter 5 in the New English translation. One thing I want to touch on is that in verse 17 through 19, it's talking about the laws. And when it's talking about the laws, the vast majority of people believe that's talking about the Ten Commandments. And then it says, so anyone who breaks one of the least of these commands and teaches others to do so will be called least in the kingdom of heaven, but whoever obeys them and teaches others to do so will be called great in the kingdom of heaven. And that is the entirety of verse 19. I am what would be called a Seventh-day Adventist. Well, not what would be called it. I am what is called a Seventh-day Adventist. It's actually, from the last time I looked it up, the fastest growing Protestant denomination in the world, and it has churches all across the world. If you've ever heard of Advent Health, that's a Seventh-day Adventist organization. So Seventh-day Adventists are everywhere, and it's quickly growing. And the difference between a Seventh-day Adventist and, say, a Baptist is that Seventh-day Adventists go to church on Saturday. And I think these three verses help with that, because the fourth commandment says, remember to keep the Sabbath. The only commandment that says remember in it. And that has just fallen away. But Jesus says, do not think that I have come to abolish the law. A lot of people say, oh, well, Jesus fulfilled the law and we don't have to follow this anymore. There's two big problems with that. One is that everyone else still keeps the other nine commandments besides number four. And Jesus literally says, I have not come to abolish the law. He fulfilled them, yes, but that just means that he kept every single one perfectly. It doesn't mean that they're gone. So it's interesting. And I don't know if I've ever really seen these verses before in this way. Another thing is I've been in the last few years, I've been sort of forced into the realm of King James Onlyism. And just in case anyone is wondering, which I doubt you would be, because in I think every single episode so far, I've said New English Translation is what I'm reading. I'm very anti King James Onlyist. I think it is a vile, disgusting belief that Christians have, and especially the ones like Peter Ruckman and Gail Ripplinger, who say that you can't be saved unless you read a King James. That's just so incredibly stupid. Like you can't even try to be nice with it. It's just so stupid that it's hard to spend time with it. But anyway, lot of King James onlyists will say, "Oh well, not not a jot or tittle will pass away," trying to make it seem like it's talking about the Bible itself. In verse 18, it says, I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or stroke of a letter will pass from the law until everything takes place. All that's saying is that the law is still going to be here when Jesus returns. And again, back to what I was saying with the Sabbath thing, this isn't a verse that I had thought about really a whole lot in depth. I know that in a lot of the debates I've watched and some of the reading I've done myself for King James Onlyism stuff, a lot of people use this. And I've just never looked at the verse, I guess. But it's not talking about preserving the word. This verse is not talking about preserving the word. It's saying that the law will continue to be there, no matter what. So really interesting. Really interesting. But that's, I think, all I'm gonna touch on in this episode. I talked a lot about the Sabbath, and it looks like this is probably going to be the longest episode so far, and so I'm just gonna stop it there. The next episode will be chapter 6, and I will see you guys then.